Hello, and welcome back to day 5 of the Discovering Your True Self Journal Challenge. Again, I'm your host, Christy Allen, and today we are talking about what are your joy triggers. But before we can get into your joy triggers, we got to talk about your pain triggers. So, your joy triggers are going to be happening when you are in a true self state of being or having a true self moment. But when we're triggered by pain, we're actually activating our sympathetic nervous system. So, this is our body system to let us know that we are experiencing danger. And so, that sympathetic nervous system causes our body to go into fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. But we have another system that counters and heals the sympathetic nervous system. And that system, that healing system, is called the parasympathetic nervous system. Our parasympathetic nervous system causes regulation and homeostasis. So when we engage in joy triggers, as we're connected to our true self, we're actually engaging in this healing system. So we want to kind of get clear about what our pain triggers are. So, first things first, um, like I said, we are fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. When we are experiencing our triggered self and we're in that fight um, mode, we're going to be experiencing a tightness of jaw, grinding our teeth, maybe wanting to punch somebody or someone, um, something or someone, intense anger, crying in anger, wanting to stomp and kick, burning or knotting sensation in your stomach. You may want to attack the source of whatever is causing your danger. So your brain is sending signals to your body to prepare it for a fight. When you're in that flight state of mind, and that triggered self response, that's when your body believes you can't overcome the danger that you're in, but you can avoid it by running away. So that song, "She's a Runner, She's a Track Star," that's what's going on with this flight response. A surge of hormones like adrenaline, they're going to give your body the stamina to run from danger longer than you typically could. So you may be having this excessive exercising, feeling fidgety, constantly moving your legs, feet, and arms, restless body, feeling numbness in your arms and legs. You may have dilated pupils or darting eyes. So these are some of the symptoms of your flight response if you're a flight responder. Next thing is, are you a freezer? Um, so when you're in a freeze, this response causes you to feel stuck in place. So you may have a sense of dread, pale skin, feeling stiff, heavy, cold, numb, loud, pounding heart, decreasing heart rate, a state of depression. If you respond by being a fawner, if you're in that fawn response, that typically occurs with people who grew up in maybe kind of harsh environments or very, very strict environments, maybe sometimes even abusive families and situations. Because even with these folks, when you're fawning, even if you're being treated poorly, your instinct drives you to soothe your person who was overly authoritative or aggressive or your abuser instead of fight or flight. So the fawner is going to be overly agreeable. They're going to try to be overly helpful. They're primarily concerned with making someone else happy. So those are your those are the responses that you have in your sympathetic nervous system. But just like our pain triggers cause us to react in that system, our parasympathetic nervous system also has some causes, also has us reacting a certain way. So by connecting to your true self, you're able to see these reactions in a new light because your triggered self, your true self, is very similar to your triggered self in this way. Um, so fight could look like affection instead, could look like passionate, being proactive, being a defender of true justice. Flight, instead of disconnection and running away, could look like connection, experiencing adventure, perseverance, and endurance. Freeze, instead of being numb, could look like being an observer, being restful, being patient, being thoughtful. And fawn, instead of being overly helpful and overdoing, could look like nurture, being a connector, being discerning, and being loving. So I know that this is kind of an intense topic. And so our goal is just to kind of move the needle towards becoming more attuned, in tune with your true self. So for today's journal prompt, all I want you to do is compare your pain triggers. So take a look at those pain triggers with your joy trigger reactions. Are they the same? Um, and what differences do you notice? Um, so these reactions are going to help you see your true self more clearly. Like for me, I know I am a flight freeze fawner. But I experience, when I'm in my true self, I experience a sense of adventure, perseverance. Um, I'm also very nurturing and loving. Um, and so just take stock. I know that this one is, it might be a little bit more new than some of the other ones, um, but just you can feel free to journal about whatever comes to mind. Um, and so that is day 5 journal prompt. Um, and so we're going to take a break. We're going to take a day's break, and we will be back on Monday for our day 6 journal prompt, which will lead us into the final day, our final journal prompt, which is on day 7. And we're going to have a true self celebration when we're making a true self collage. So, again, get those images ready, those 4 to 10 images that kind of signal to you kind of how you'd like to show up in the world. So that concludes our day 5 journal prompt. Again, we're going to skip a day, so enjoy your rest, and you will get day 6's journal prompt on Monday. All right, take care.